The Queensland Treasurer will hand down the Labor Government state budget this afternoon. It's been framed as a major pitch to voters ahead of the Queensland election in October. Several pre-budget cost of living measures have already been announced, but there is still plenty more to be revealed. Joining me now is the Business Chamber of Queensland CEO Heidi Cooper. Heidi, are you worried about these massive spending measures? Will they be inflationary?
Hi Laura, how are you today? Look, it's a big day in Queensland and it's really important that this budget gets it right. We know that there's a cost of living crisis. We know that there needs to be cost of living measures. But what we're really looking for is some long-term measures to really support the economy and businesses in Queensland. And at this point in time, we're not hearing this. So we're really looking to what we're going to hear over the next couple of hours and what we're going to see when the budget's being handed down, because short-term measures are not going to solve some of the significant issues that the Queensland business community is experiencing at this point in time.
So what's on your wish list then?
We must see driving down of costs. We are at historic highs in the Queensland business community. We haven't seen conditions like this for a long time. We've got to see some of those operating costs coming down. That's around energy, it's around insurance, it's around wages. We also know that there's an incredibly tight labour market that's being experienced by all businesses, but there's also a restrictive workforce environment, which means it's really hard for businesses to run their business. On top of that, we're seeing compounding pressure from a regulatory perspective. It's really hard to do business right now, and that's putting additional pressure on businesses. And what we really want to see is a long-term plan. We don't want to just see short-term measures. It's critical that we see a long-term plan to make sure that Queensland is a great place to do business.
Yeah, there is some concern about the inflation aspect of these big handouts on energy, on other measures, all designed to drive down those cost of living pressures for families. I guess this would be more money for people to spend on businesses under your umbrella. So where do you come at those cash handouts?
We don't want to see any measures that are inflationary. We know that inflationary pressure is one of these significant issues that's impacting on business at this point in time. It's really important that any decisions that are being made from a budgetary perspective keeps front of mind inflation and ensuring that we don't continue to see increased costs. We know that there is a cost of living crisis, but there's also a cost of doing business crisis right now. And we know that the pressures that are being experienced around the kitchen table are really exactly the same pressures as those that are being experienced around the business table. Yeah. What we're hearing so far is that we're not seeing what we would like to be seeing around really driving down those costs for the business community. But what's really important, Laura, is that there needs to be more long-term measures. We can't just have short-term relief. We need to see long-term. And now an example of that is energy. Whilst it's beneficial to see some relief around energy bills, what the business community is really looking for is what's that long-term plan. We hear from our business community that it's not small increases that they're experiencing. We're hearing double-digit figures, tens of thousands of dollars that are going directly onto the bottom line. So the business community wants to know, well, what's that long-term plan? And that's just really one of the examples, just one example of input costs that we're seeing that are at historic highs.